what got me into it? Loneliness, depression, and finding a game store. No, well, true, but I had someone. So there was a game shop that I went to often, and I was initially involved in painting a lot. We can take a moment, pause this. I was into painting, and I was painting Warhammer 40k figures. I am a very basic where I was Ultramarines. And I like painting a lot. But that game room store, I noticed some people at the game room store doing something where they were rolling and talking as characters. And I was like, ooh, I like RPGs. I always wished I was like Cloud or Yuffie or, FF7 was like my jam back then. So I was thinking, oh, I'd love to like be an adventurer like that. Because I was listening, like, they're playing as characters like they're from a Final Fantasy game. What's this? And the guy at the game shop told me a little bit about it. And I was like, ooh, this is fascinating. And I joined a group. And since then, I have been DMing for over a decade. And I played Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu, Cthulhu Tech, Dungeons & Dragons 3.5, Dungeons & Dragons 4.0, Dungeons & Dragons 5.0, Fabula Ultima, and many, many more systems. I played at least like a dozen more systems I'm not even naming. But very near and dear to my heart. I'm taking a break from tabletop right now because I'm really focused on my debut and like getting things going. But yeah, that's kind of the whole big part of it. Oh yeah, Made RPG. That's a fun, silly one. That's a great one. But I'll say this. This is actually, this is actually very important to me. I kind of want to bring this up. And who cares? The game system be a little changed here. But, I made that video about trying something new. And I really mean it because what I just mentioned is extremely important about that. Which is, I was alone. I didn't have any friends. I had fantasies stuff that I loved that had something that made me happy, which was, fantasy games. And by going outside of my comfort zone, because I couldn't socialize with people very well, I would just go to that game store and just get my thing, put the hoodie on and tuck my shoulders up high and not talk because people used to think I was mute even. I tried something new. I spoke up. I spoke to the cashier and asked him what it was, and before you know it, it gave me a hobby to try. And I'm not joking when I say that tabletop actually opened up my perspective to everything. So I have autism, but I'm very bad at understanding emotions to the point that I didn't really know anything other than happy, sad, mad. That's it. I didn't know anything further. But by playing characters in tabletop, I would play characters that were focused on certain emotions. Like, I would play a character who was very focused on their anger with themselves, not at the world. And as I played that character more, I started to get a grasp on what levels and what sides anger came from people. And then later I played a character who had their own traumas and was very sad and kind of closed off. And it helped me literally learn by playing this character, there's so many other sides of these kind of things. So literally by playing characters who are focused on specific emotions, it helped me learn with other people around the table, how these emotions actually are portrayed. And it also gave me a lot more of a social understanding on things. It helped me speak more, because you're playing tabletop, you're going to start speaking a lot. And so that helped me start to speak up, start to express myself, and more importantly, it gave me friends. And it gave me, by stepping out of my comfort zone, new hobbies, new things to enjoy. And that turned into a lot of other things. I started realizing I could do role plays online, so I started doing that as characters. And I met friends through that, like Helmchan, for instance, that we see here. I met them through role plays, and I would play tabletop games together. And I actually visited them before, cross country. But I genuinely mean it that Dungeons & Dragons, 3.5, so yeah, we're going a bit back, but tabletop games in general seriously opened my life up. It showed me something I never thought, so I guess the moral of the story is just like the video I made 2 days ago, which I'm not saying this out of oh, check me out. No, I just mean, hey, whenever you know what I'm talking about, my Twitter does have it pinned right now because it's a very important message, which is find your happiness, try something new. You never know what you're going to find. Maybe a new community, maybe a new forum. Maybe just talking to somebody you never spoke to before, whether it be the mailman, someone at a park. I saw a little dog the other day while I was doing a delivery with my potion, and I asked if I could pet it, and I did, and it made me happy, and the dog licked my hand, and then I spent like 2 minutes talking to the old lady. This was an elderly woman, and it brightened my whole day. So I would have never imagined Yomi doing that 10 years ago. I would have been intimidated by it all. So the littlest of things are actually really worth trying. And I guess the moral of the story here is, yeah, try something new. You never know what's gonna happen. But I can promise you this: you'll more than likely be thankful you did. So, well, thank you for taking that moment. It was kind of important to me, and things definitely took a turn, but I'm happy they did.